With much of the team's effort now switched to SD-20 on the surface, recovery of the remains can begin.
On the reconnaissance of the crater, one of the team found human remains. So one of the first things we've got to do before we start doing any serious heavy work down here is excavate these to see exactly what we do have. Do we have a complete articulated skeleton? Do we have disarticulated remains or what? So Andy and myself are going to do that as the first thing this morning.
We're starting to uncover more and more bones, but they are very disarticulated and they are almost stacked on top of each other. We have a very good jaw with a very nice set of teeth. We have found fragments of skull offset from that, so it looks as if this individual suffered quite a trauma. The bones can actually tell us quite a lot. They can tell us his fitness, whether he's suffering from any diseases, can give us an indication of his age, height, those sort of general things. So it can tell you quite a lot about his actual health.
Something laid over it.
That's rust.
Vimy site director Al Puxley has arrived to see for himself the skeletal remains found in the crater.
His rib cage and his spine is running down that way.
I hadn't talked to the gendarme, and maybe that would be wise.
I think it would be very wise.
Yeah.
You know, they may want to come along and just see what's happening, and if the Wargraves doesn't want it, they would take custody of it.
Their discovery will cause considerable delay, as the French and Canadian authorities will need to be notified, together with the German consulate.
If this is a fortified crater subjected to bombardment and one of your guys gets,
They just put them in the
you
bottom.
might put them in the nearest shell hole you can get outside the entrance to a potential dugout, for example, and loosely cover him up,
And that's it.
and that's it.
And then there's the mud.
And of course it just clings, so if it clings too hard to your bones and things, it just sort of brings them away.
The gendarmes have arrived and are briefed on the find.
Il y avait eu des dégâts il y a 2-3 semaines.
Ah oui, ils ont tagué
Oui.
cimetière.
Mais il y avait un hôpital assez important là, du côté des Britanniques, avant que les gens s'arrêtent à envoyer en Angleterre.
Mike and Andy are given permission to continue the recovery of the skeleton.
We've now brought out the entire skeleton, and in the process we have recovered a number of items of metal off the webbing and some hooks, and hopefully the crests on these will give us a positive identification of nationality. Interestingly enough, as we were excavating the spine and the pelvis, this piece of shrapnel was firmly embedded through his ribs and into his body, and with the finding of the odd small piece of shrapnel and shrapnel ball, I think we can conclusively say that he died as a result of a shell bursting overhead.